would be the rather sensible one, but then again, they are going to remove that cool. So the side of ASN probably have got a mentality or rather a rough idea of what the side of Impunity will be bringing out. But besides this draft, as they are considering the ban, Mini, you made a quite a interesting or rather an important point before the draft started, and it's that Impunity has to play as a team right now. So coming into this draft, we do see that Glaive being banned out for the side of ASN once again. Glaive has been banned out against ASN for a lot, or rather all the matches as of now. And I guess Glaive is just one of the top picks coming out from the side of ASN.
Yeah, he's not really a first pick because clearly they're not that comfortable on him, but they've been allowed the second pick, and they're going to go that Flex Kestrel. It's reasonably good. It's not great against Scarf. You wouldn't say Kestrel is a Scarf counter by any means. So they're really letting Impunity build the draft that they want. I'm sure Impunity will be okay with that. They're probably going to pick Catherine. Yeah, Catherine counter Kestrel. It's probably the second best captain. And then they're going to finish off with Ringo. No just to counter it. Probably going to turn that into a weapon Kestrel to go against Ringo. And I think Celeste could work against this Scarf. Then again, they could go for maybe an Ozo. We saw them try and play Ozo before. They could try it against Scarf, or they could go for an assassin like Taka.
Yep, I mean, Ozo at this point in time looks rather decent. If not, then Taka. Taka is still open. And Taka, I personally think double Inviscom would force Catherine into the contraption, which Catherine generally wants to build anyways because of the extra cooldown. But, you know, now with Gauntlet, and of course, that of Echo would be the better utility items on that of Catherine. But the team coming up from the side of Impunity at this point in time, really, really scary right now with that Scarf and, of course, Ringo, two powerhouses on the foes, and, of course, not forgetting the CC that Catherine can provide. What the side of ASN can go for right now maybe is that Batiste. Granted, Batiste cannot outpoke that Scarf, but will kind of restrict the movements, allowing Castro to just perform better glimmer shots at the end
It certainly could work. I think Batiste is too hard countered by Scarf, and there's no dash abilities. But he's going to lock the heroes in place that pretty much stay in place anyway. And they picked the Celeste, we're now finding out. So I think that's a good draft from both sides. ASN, they're going to have to be able to outpoke Impunity. It's possible with Scarf. So down that tier 1 turret quite early on with the weapon Kestrel and Celeste poking, whereas Impunity have to use a Ringo to try and push turrets as well as Scarf, who's fantastic, but Ringo really isn't. He has to be within turret range to attack it. I think ASN are likely to try and push early objectives with this comp.
Yep, but honestly, just looking at the draft itself, Impunity seems like they are so much better in this game in terms of that draft as compared to ASN. Of course, ASN picked out that Castro, that Celeste, but I mean, Celeste in the early game works so much better, especially in that level 2 itself because of the car collapse, whereas Scarf just gets a goop. We spoke about this subject yesterday on this topic at least, but on top of that, the side of ASN has got that early sustain in terms of that Lyra. So it is just down to whether or not the side of Impunity can push their early game prowess with their team comp, because they just seem like if they are going to play the objective focus game that Impunity is known for, especially in that early game, those secret turret takings, then the side of Impunity, their draft just seems so much more robust if they are going to go for that. But however, if they are going to go for team fights, and Celeste will provide a little more CC team-wide at least, and of course you can zone and put out a lot of damage with those supernovas and of course heliogenicide as well. So that is one thing that the side of Impunity has to keep in mind. They are going up against a poke comp. As for themselves, they have got Ringo for the sustained damage. They have the Ringo to just lock one hero down in terms, because you cannot quite dodge basic attacks at the end of it all.
Yeah, I think Ringo will do really well against Kestrel if they get in a straight 1v1. If Ringo gets within basic attack range, he should win that without much trouble. Whereas if Kestrel is allowed to glimmer shot Ringo before he can get in basic attack range, that's when Kestrel's really going to shine, really going to be able to out damage Ringo not in a 1v1, because as I said, in a straight 1v1 it's easily Ringo, but in a poke war, Kestrel's easily going to win. So even though Impunity have got lots of range in Scarf and Ringo, they have to get on top of ASN, and I think the CC is kind of in favour of Impunity just because they have that Catherine, whereas ASN have got Celeste, but they've also got a Lyra, and Kestrel does have an active camo, but you never really get the stun with active camo, or you can't chain the CC, whereas Catherine is likely to build herself an Echo, so she can really chain CC well and can just do it pretty much by herself. And so now I'm going to be passing over to yourself, Luxuria, and also I request a duel to cast this match.
Yes, thank you, Mini Mitre, and we are in the third matchup. Both teams currently even with 1 point each to their name, and here we are with Impunity, with what Mini said, you know, maybe a better team comp to engage with that Catherine, and I'd agree in that statement. They're also going to have the Goop and the Achilles shot, so they've got the kind of soft CC, but it's going to be enough for them to catch up with the damage. I think Impunity, in my opinion as well, are going to be able to have the advantage in this one if they can play as the aggressors, but you never know. ASN might put them on their back feet and kind of turn it around if they, I just guess, play more aggressive or counter aggressive. You can always do that with the Bright Bulwark coming out from Lyra. Looks like we're going into a pause early on, not sure why that is, but yeah, I was saying about the side of ASN is that they should be able to counter react to that, hopefully. Let's see. Okay, so we have been told Aeon was AFK, apparently. We'll see if that's been fixed. If not, yeah, okay, so it looks like just a small connectivity issue. And to remind you all, what would happen usually is 2 minutes per team, but looks like Aeon already back and ready to play, luckily, so we can get on to this third matchup. And Luxura, how are you feeling about this match?
Well, honestly, I wanted to touch on the fact that, you know, Impunity pulled out a rather interesting rotations going through into the lane, pushing lane as fast as possible in the early part of the game. Of course, and immediately going for the mid-treant, which they are doing right now as well. Able to secure the mid-treants, able to secure the elder treant as well. Very interesting rotations coming up from Impunity. Do not see that quite often. However, Tazzaboy might have got something to say about this if he does get that elder treant, in which does go over to the side of Impunity. As for team comp wise, you make a rather interesting point, and of course view that ASN has to be that aggressors, and if need be, Impunity can counter react. And I mean, they have a better comp all in all in terms of they do not have to poke as that of Celeste, although both of them are mages, but Celeste has got a core collapse that can be used in for the ganks. If not, then at least Impunity on their part, they have got that very sustained poke in terms of the in terms of that scarf, and on top of that, they have got lockdown from Catherine as well. Once again, Impunity going with their rotation, and yet ASN do not quite have an answer but to take out that treant first, in which they did for the second time, and we do not see a lot of aggression coming out onto that lane, but instead a lot of focus on this particular, you know, rotation. What do you think, I request you about this current rotation that Impunity is trying to put out, or, you know, pulling out?
Well, I think it's definitely working out for the side of Impunity. You saw you rotating in, they were at least able to steal one lot of camps, if not half of the jungle, away from the side of ASN. And as I said before, you know, Impunity probably looking to be aggressors, but of course ASN would like to play in a similar slot. It's just going up against this team comp. You know, one team has to back down and be the counter-reaction team, and I think if that's going to be any team, it might be ASN. They're able to find the core collapse onto Def Q, and they pick up the first blood, and now this is where ASN can be the aggressors, where they have the opportunity to just land up the shots as the enemy team runs away. Corvo actually turning around, gonna go maybe into the enemy jungle, or just hide here for now. Looks like they're going to be up shop, picking up that fountain, but they're able to hunt down Blue City, but Blue City isn't going to go down without a fight, able to put down the Goop and pick up a kill onto Zaranel. They now need to be careful as Def Q returns to this jungle, and it looks like Aeon going to be caught out by the Merciless Pursuers, stunned up for a second, able to find the active camo, but is it enough to get away? 4 seconds left on Merciless Pursuit, but the bubble, the Storm Guard, might be enough. Aeon just barely getting out there thanks to the Imperial Sigil. And with that, like, you could see that ASN, they had their chance of being the aggressors, but Scarf is doing quite a good job to be, I guess, a slight counter to that, because when running away from the enemy, able to, nice Spitfire there by Blue Z to pick up the kill, able to land Goops down, or put Goop down, and then hopefully turn around with just a quick Spitfire shot, if they're able to stutter step it out. And by doing so, you're kind of making the enemy run through that and into that, and it gives you a window of opportunity to just turn around the fight because of how Scarf's heroic perk works. Once they're ignited, he's just going to do more damage to them anyway.
Very strategic and methodical movements or rotations coming out from that of Impunity right now. After the initial rotations, they changed up a bit, went for the Mitrian, and then went for that Crystal Sentry, goes back into the jungle, just farm up the jungle, and then now at this point in time going back up into lane as well. So constantly they are in a triple man rotation, and ASN not having quite found an answer yet. They granted they did pick up that Ringo once, they pick up that Scarf, Blue CD as well. But now, yet again, Impunity will rotate into the jungle. Very timely rotation. Oh, but Quatrefour did not manage to get that Mitrian. And once again, going to shot together. Again, rotating in 3. Very peculiar, interesting rotations coming up from Impunity. What the side of ASN could do, though, is just this. Just put out a lot of pressure in lane. A triple silence do come across.
Yeah, and it looks like a bit of poke going to go down. They really want to stop that rotation that Impunity were doing. There's going to be the Hellfire Brew. It's going to allow 3 of the targets, at least with splash damage. Aeon being the main one, and there's going to be the Imperial Sigil in just a few seconds to keep them alive. But for now, they're pushed down back behind the turret, and they're going to start their siege on this first turret. But there's the Glimmer Shots coming through. There's the Solar Storm. It just clips Def Q, and it looks like they are able to defend their first turret for now.
Yep, I mean, that rotation, it kind of paid out for the side of Impunity, but at the end of it all, ASN just has got better lane control if you're going to rotate in 3, because you are basically giving away your position all the time. The enemies would know that, you know, you are in the jungle right now, or you are doing something right now, but basically a man of 3. So as long as ASN can just take advantage of this, ooh, there's a boy.
Yeah, it looks like Quatrefour going fairly low in that front line. They are able to find the turret Scarf with the Goop underneath. There's going to be the core collapse being used, but it looks like right now Impunity not looking for a fight. They just got the objective advantage, and this is going to help them so much more with how we've already seen them being rotating as a team, and it's just going to give them that much more freedom. They didn't notice Tezza Boy down here, however. They're not able to steal it away. It is going to go over to the side of Impunity, seeing about 3k gold ahead at 18.6 over to 15.6k of ASN.
Yeah, but this rotation, though, it's definitely impacting the amount of CS that DevQ is getting on that Ringo. As we can tell, Aeon222 is sitting at 64 CS, whereas DevQ is sitting at 59. But of course, he has got a wave to clear at this point in time, so that will kind of even out the CS overall at the end of it all. But I personally do not know. I do not know what to feel, because, I mean, to rotate in 3, it's an excellent choice as compared to how they were rotating in the first game, or in the second game at least. Yet again, they are going for the Crystal Sentry right now. They have very good objective clear speed, and there you go. Sentry just defeated in a couple of Spitfires and a single Goop. So with that, Sentry is down 2 lives, and just the last final health for that Sentry. And ASN Esports, yet again, not finding a loophole that they really need to. And that is just calculating how fast they go through the jungle and then rotating back up to lane. Because honestly, Quatrefour as Catherine cannot hold up much as a hero, because you do not quite have a lot of AoEs. Granted, you have the one Merciless Pursuit, you can stun, you can do a lot of things with even that Blast Tremor, but at the end of it all, ASN is just not making full use or just capitalizing on this rotation coming up from the side of Impunity. Again, Impunity all 3 up in lane, and they might be looking for a team fight right now.
Yeah, but that's going to be Cordoval going in with the Merciless Pursuit onto Zaranov. There's going to be the Hellfire Brew for the follow-up, but no one close enough to really shut him down. And they're just going to be able to heal up with the Imperial Sigil on the backlines. Meanwhile, Impunity still managing to take farm away from the side of ASN, and they pick up a kill. Blast Tremor and Ringo just able to kite it out with that Sorrowblade Tension Bow, Lucky Strike, Blazing Salvo build already. Really, the side of Impunity have gone for, they've taken out the Crystal Sentry already. All 3 lives are gone. Blue City going to get caught out on that backline. There's going to be core collapse, but Zaranor not going to survive. 1 shot, 1 kill comes out to Cordoval, but they're going to be able to get out there. And what Impunity have been doing so far, just looking at their builds, is all damage at this point, because right now ASN can't really turn around a fight if they're going in behind this Catherine, who can just use the Storm Guard to reflect a lot of that back as well and be that tanky front line needed for DefQ and Blue City. And I talked about at the start of the game of having those soft CCs of the Achilles shot and the goop coming out from Scarf. They'll easily be able to chase down kills, and Impunity just playing this one so well, and as you said before, just methodical and very well strategized.
Yep, very well strategized indeed. We do see, though, the side of Impunity clearly having the level advantage, although Zarono just turned level 9, but DefQ and that of Blue City got their 9 when the side of ASN Esports was still at their 8. So at a point in time, they could really just hard push if they wanted to. But we do see, though, Infusions picked up all across the board, and we might just see another fight breaking out over this gold mine that is relatively filled right now. However, the side of Impunity have got a different idea, just immediately going for the gold miner or rotating down into the jungle, but I'll take that back. Quarter 4 is still camping in the brush, hoping for ASN to jump in. They are going good for the gold miner.
Yeah, it looks like they have enough damage to do so, but ASN close by, not going to be able to steal it with the Heliogenesis. Blast Tremor going to go down, but it does not get blocked, actually. I think the Crucible might be a bit late, and there's going to be the damage coming through from Aeon on that Kestrel. They managed to find Ringo, and now Impunity on the run, and this is what I meant. If ASN can be the aggressors, if they can put, I guess, Impunity in an uncomfortable position, they might be able to turn this one around. They have the damage to do so, and moving into the late game, they are going to have even more with this Celeste starting to build up now. Hing level 10, has that Frostburn, looks like they're building for Broken Myth second, and they've put a fair amount of damage into that turret, but they don't have the minions to follow quite through with that.
Yep, one thing, very good echo on Quarter 4. The side of ASN Esports, they did manage to block out the first Blast Tremor, but once Catherine used the second one, or rather in terms of the echoed the second one, then there was no way that ASN Esports could have blocked that out, but they are going to go for this second turret now. Very good objective control coming up from Impunity, and especially with this particular rotation, now they have got a free jungle, the entire jungle of ASN Esports for themselves, especially since ASN cannot and no longer be able to just retreat back into the turret, and the fact that Crystal Sentry, or rather in your terms, the MVP is no longer there. Impunity just looks so strong coming into this game, although it's not reflected in terms of the kill score, but it's clearly reflected in terms of gold lead and of course objective lead. Them, or rather Impunity, sitting at a very comfortable 6k.
Ooh, it's interesting to see Quartervore picking up that Null Wave Gauntlet. Did just use it there onto Celeste, maybe showing your hand a bit early, but I think that's going to be so important with the playstyle that Impunity are going for, just trying to lock down single targets off the back of Quartervore's Merciless Pursuit. And you said it before that they're even in kills right now, but for gold lead is so much different for Impunity, who quite far ahead with 33.2k over to 26.5, and for 13 minutes 40, and there's massive, and there's going to be massive damage coming out as they follow through. I don't think Quartervore even landed the Merciless Pursuit, but they're going to go over onto Tezaboy now, trying to pick up a kill. It looks like Aeon going to be able to make it out of this one with the active camo, but they do have a turret that they've just walked by and slightly ignored. They need to be careful that Aeon doesn't get a few good glimmer shots on. Quartervore low, the Storm Guard is up, but it looks like it's going to miss for 1 shot, 1 kill. Not quite hitting, and Fountain was used on the side of Impunity, but you saw how quickly they deleted that Celeste. It's just crazy right now.
Yep, Tezaboy looking to steal, but unfortunately putting him in a very bad position. Does get now with Gauntlet. And Minimiter did say, though, Boy picked up a second reflex block, just to counter that, but not quite used efficiently. Boy yet again, just holding lane alone.
Ooh, how far, Brew? Gonna go on to Aeon, and Aeon gonna get taken out instantly. They don't want to deal with any of that invisibility, and they're gonna shut them down instantly. It looks like Blue City, after cleaning up Aeon, moves their way onto Zyronol, picking up the carries, and there's not much Boy can do on his own to hold this base. They're gonna push these minions on. There's really nothing they can do in terms of objectives. They turn their attention to Gold Miner, but that's gonna be falling, and they're just gonna burn their way through Kraken right now, leaving up to Blue City and Quartervore right now. Ringo going to just stand his ground as Boy the only one standing for the side of ASN, but that changes in a second as Aeon now making his way back up to lane. However, not going to be able to catch out Def Q as he has the speed boost with the twirling silver and making his way back to Kraken. That's almost captured. Solar Storm going to miss, and it looks like ASN trying to look for a fight here, trying to push away Impunity before they make it to the base, but then deciding to just turn it around and run away.
Yep, the side of ASN Esports really have to defend against this Kraken right now. But
oh my lord, Zyrono just getting tagged and tagged up by Def Q. So much damage going down. However, in that situation, Blue City wasn't there to land quite the amount of poke they needed with that Spitfire into Goop, but the turret isn't able to move anywhere, and they're going to be able to take that down instantly. Anchor turret gone, Kraken still at full health. There's the Hellfire Brew, goes on to Zyrono, and it looks like Zyrono actually able to heal that one back up to go back into their base, and this might be a chance for them there as they land the core collapse, but they get taken down instantly, and I believe reflect damage by Quartervore picking that one up. Kraken surely going to be able to push this one in, looking like an Impunity game for game 3 here, as they've played this one so impressively, and Aeon, the last one standing, is going to fall just like that. The combined damage between Scarf and Ringo right now, it's just so immense, is all I can say, and there was nothing the side of ASM really could do to deal with that.
What a rotation, and of course, what a game coming up from the side of Impunity. And of course, to break this match down between Impunity and ASN, we have the awesome Minimiter.
Thank you for that. What a game play. Well played by Impunity. That was much more like what we tend to see from Impunity. They were coordinated as a team. As you said, fantastic rotations, just objective focus like nothing we've seen from them before. They went for the Crystal Center.